So apparently I'm completely incapable of doing a half-hour class, but I'm going to really try. So I've got a few, not as many static holds, as I said in the little preamble. It's going to be more flowy, a lot more movement than the usual classes. So if you've got your mats, let's just go, because I talk too much as it is. So let's start. Hands and knees directly underneath your hips, wrists directly underneath your shoulders. And you're going to drop belly button to the floor, squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. You're going to look directly in front or slightly up. Tailbone is tipped to the ceiling. From here, belly button drawn into your spine. Tailbone down towards the floor. Big distance between your shoulder blades on the back. Drive down through your hands. Use the power of your abs to draw your ribs and your hips closer together. Big arch. So let's cycle through a few of these, moving a little bit further each time. One more in each direction. Okay, from here we're going to pop up into a plank and we're going to start with our walkouts. Drop your heels to the floor, keep your legs straight, tailbone in the air. This is the quickest that I've started a class. Normally I'm still talking at this point. So if you're late, I'm sorry. Right the way down to that plank, tailbone tucked under. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings as you drop your heels towards the floor. Pile your hips, then your spine, shoulders, head on top. Back down, stretching your hamstrings, walk right the way up. Let's have 3 more of these. Really try and get that stretch in your hamstrings, keep your legs straight for as far as you can. Okay, let's have 1 more. Right the way down, right the way up. And then this last one, you're going to hop down to a plank and we're going to do some skaters. So, down into your plank. Right foot comes to the outside of your right hand. You're going to twist up towards your knee, back down. Your chest should follow your hand. As you open up your chest, reach through your fingertips to the ceiling. Try and keep that back leg straight. Okay. We're now going to warm up your upper body, stretch your upper body out. So, I want your hands touching in front of you like this. Not interlinked, just touching. Let me know if you can hear me, by the way. I don't know if that's too loud. Just touching in front of you. And you're going to make that circle that you create with your arms and your shoulders as big as you can. Send your shoulder blades in opposite directions. Really stretch out your back. And I'll allow a little bit of a hunch for this one. So roll your shoulders forward. Make that circle as big as possible. From here, you're going to put the backs of your hands on the small of your back. And you're going to drive your elbows together behind you. Feel that stretch as you open up your chest. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Don't shrug up. Drop them down. Drive your chest forward, keeping your abs engaged. So you're not just arching your back, there's still partial tension here. And we're going to cycle through those 2. So coming right the way forward. And then right the way back. Let's have 1 more forwards and back. Touch fingertips. Make that circle as big as you can. Really drive your shoulder blades in opposite directions. Hands on your lower back. And open your chest up, drop your shoulders. Just look straight in front of you. Okay. Right, I'm warm. What about you? Okay. Our first little... I tell you what. We're not going to start the flow just now. I'm going to try and stretch your hamstrings out a little bit more, just because if I did this, I would need a lot more warming up on my hamstrings. So, we're going to start. I want you to just try and tap your toes. If your legs can't stay straight, that's absolutely fine, but you're going to try and straighten them as much as possible. Again, try and puff your chest out right the way through. Come back up. Feet a little bit wider. Drop down. Up, feet a little bit wider again. So you should be trying to keep your legs relatively straight. Feel that stretch down your hamstrings. We're going to come a little bit wider. We're going to work right the way out in these incremental little distances. So step about 2 inches wider. Up, use the power in your glutes to drive under. A little bit wider, drop back down again. This should start to feel a bit easier as you physically have to come down less of a distance as your feet get wider. Try and keep that back straight if you can. Try and relax the back of your legs. Back up, 2 inches wider, drop down. My toes at this point start to face slightly outwards. You'll feel that stretch. You'll feel the tension change as you come slightly wider again. And we're going to drop down. You might be able to get your hands flat to the floor at this point. That's fab. Okay, we're going to start coming back in now. 2 inches further in. Drop down. Again, try and relax the back of your legs. You're not tensing up. Back up, squeeze with your glutes. In 2 inches, drop back down. Same again. In those 2 inches, let's have 3 more to work our way back up to feet practically touching. It should get harder again. Up, feet a bit closer, about shoulder apart now. A little bit closer, drop down. See how my legs can't stay straight now. And the last one, feet touching. This is the hardest one. Try and keep your legs as straight as possible. Drop down. We're just going to sit here for a moment. Three, two, one. Okay, the hamstrings feel a little bit loose there. Right, we are now going to pop down into a lunge. We're just going to stretch your hip flexor out. Drive your knee into the floor. This heel at the front you're going to push down and pull towards you. This knee you're going to drive down and push forward. So you're pinching here, tailbone tucked under. You should feel that tension pick up on your hip flexor. Just going to hold here for a moment. Squeeze in your right glute. 3, 2, 1. Pop to both knees, switch sides. Just trying to stretch your hip flexor up. We're doing a lunge flow in a minute. So I'm trying to just stretch out your hip flexors before we do that. Squeezing the glute of the leg that's on the floor. Foot is driven down and towards you. Knee down in front. You're pinching. Creating tension here. Tailbone tucked under. 3, 2, 1. Let's have one more on either side before we come into our flows. With this one, it can look like you're doing nothing. You've got to choose to contract your muscles in a way that you feel the tension in that hip flexor. 3, 2, 1. Last one. So tailbone tucked under, belly button pulled through, nice and tall, shoulders down. Okay, right, we're coming to our first little mobile flow, as it were. It's a little bit more movement than just static holds. Okay, so we're going to do a froggy stretch and then we're going to kind of fall forward. So you'll start on your hands and knees again. I'm going to get you to bring your knees to the outside edges of your mat and your toes touch together behind you. From here, you're going to sit your bum back on your heels and reach overhead and drop your chest to the floor. Should feel that stretch in your hips. We're then going to come forward, drop your hips as close as you can to the floor, keeping those toes together, and sink back again. Up, hips to the floor, and back. Okay, we're going to intensify this ever so slightly. I'm going to change angles, knees, whoop, a little bit further out, and your toes are going to come directly behind your knees now. So as opposed to touching, they're directly behind. And again, we're going to sit back as far as you can, chest close to the floor. Try and relax your hips, let your hips sink further towards the mat. 3, 2, 1. Use the strength in your arms to pull your body weight forward. Keep your toes on the floor, drop your hips close to the floor. Shoulders stay away from your ears, you're not shrugged up. Elongate your spine. You're going to look to the right. Again, relax your hips, let the weight of your hips push them down towards the floor. Back to the middle, and you're going to look to the other side. So we're adding a little bit of a rotation here. 3, 2, 1. Back to the middle, and you're going to sink back. Try and focus on getting a little bit further than you did last time. Last 5. Okay, going forward, drop those hips to the floor, shoulders far away from your ears, look one side, twist, back to the middle, and the other. Back to the middle, we'll do this one last time. Hips right the way back, really try and get your chest to the floor, get your hips to the floor. Five more seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Drag your body weight forward and hips to the floor. Again, relaxing your hips. Moving one way. Back to the middle, keep that spine nice and long. Other way. Back to the middle. Okay, your hips should be feeling a little bit more mobile after that one. We are now going to do, we're going to start in a plank. I'm then going to get you to crouch back, so bum right the way to your heels. Try and keep your knees off the floor. You're then going to come back into a plank, and your knee comes up to your elbow. Crouch, tap. Crouch, tap. Now your hips should be nice and open from the froggy stretch that you've just done. So as your knee come up and out, as opposed to straight in front of you. So imagine the floor is here. You're going to come from that crouch, pull yourself up, knee comes up, round to tap. You should feel shortening of your muscles as they drag your leg up. Try not to let all the work be done by your hip flexor, but let that crunch come from your core as well. So we're going to take these really, really slow. You should feel this in your shoulders, in your arms as well. Top down into your plank. Keeping those knees off the floor, get your bum as close to your heels as you can. Tap, right the way back, up and round. We're just going to keep moving. Controlled. Your abs are contracted the entire time. I don't want to see any saggy backs. Tailbone tucked under. Knee comes out and round. Keep moving through them. Bum comes right the way back to your hips. Knee up and tap. Let's see what everyone's saying. Hi everyone. Well done. Again, keep moving. Constant movement. Let's have a few more. Bum to heels. Up. Knee to the side. Bum to heels. Up. Knee to the side. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Whew. I definitely need to open my hips before that one. It is hard to get your knee up and round if you haven't done those stretches before. So if you're trying that one and you want to kind of make it more conditioning, bring your knee up in the center as opposed to out and round. I wouldn't advise bringing your knee out and round at any sort of speed. That can hurt your hip flexor. Okay, are doing. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of another hip flexor and also a glute stretch. So this is your lunge flow. So we're going to start in, let's start on that side. Start this way. So you're going to start in a lunge position here. So my right foot is forward, my left foot is back. Your left foot can be flat on the floor, as in the top of your foot is flat on the floor. So you're going to pick up that tension here, you're going to squeeze arms overhead. From here, I'm going to get you to bring your right knee, your front knee, back behind you, cross it over, and then you're going to slide that leg back as you come into your left leg. So come into a pigeon stretch. You're going to use the power of your left leg to drive your knee down into the floor, pull your body weight up and come back into that lunge. So let's do it from the other side just so you can see. Lunge, tension here, arms overhead. Bring that leg back, cross your knee over. Should feel that stretch right the way down the hamstring of the leg that's bent. Then using the power in that leg, you're going to drive your knee down, body weight comes back up into your lunge. So let's start with your right leg up first, so your left knee is on the floor. We're just going to cycle through, let's say, 5 or 6 as a guess. Take them really, really slow. When you're in this top position, you want to be squeezing as much as you can, picking up the tension in your hip flexor, and when you're in the back position, you want to slide that leg back and feel that stretch in your glute. Ready? So we're going to squeeze at the top. 3, 2, 1. Knee comes back, cross over, straighten that back leg, slide backwards. Try and drop your hips. 3, 1. Coming back up into your lunge position, reach overhead. Tailbone tucked under, core engaged. Knee comes back, cross over. Sit back into that pigeon stretch. Drop your chest if you feel it. We're going to come back up. This is the last one on this side. If you're doing this not live, if you're doing this at home, you can pause it and do a few more reps on either side. Drop that knee back. 3, 2, 1, and back up to kneeling. Ooh, I definitely feel that. Feel fatigue in my hip flexor with my left leg there. Okay, so we're now going to start with your left leg up, your right knee on the floor. That was 3 reps that we did there. We're going to do 3 on this side. Does it work better if I do it that way? Yeah, probably not supposed to do it. Okay, ready? Pick up that tension, arms overhead. Squeeze your belly button through to your spine, tailbone. Okay, knee comes back, cross over that back foot, straighten and sit down into the stretch. Last 3, 2, 1. Using the drive from your knee into the floor, pull your body weight back up. I'm going to do this over this one. Picking up the tension, arms overhead. Three, 2, 1. Knee is crossed over. As you slide back into that stretch. Okay, let's have one more rep. Really squeeze your heel down towards you, your knee down in front of you, pick that tension up. Elongate the spine, drop your shoulders, you're not hunched. And coming back into your last pigeon stretch. hold here for another 5. And 5, well done. Ooh, I definitely feel like one of my hip flexors. Okay, really well done. We are now doing. Okay, let's stretch our hamstrings out a little bit more. Again, this is very hamstring centric, isn't it? We're going to start in a plank, come up into a skater. From here, you're going to straighten that front leg. So ideally, we'll come up, both legs straight, back down into a skater, into a plank. Here, up, straight rock back onto the heel of your front leg. Now, my hamstrings are pretty tight, so I find that very hard. So, I can only hold it for a moment. If you're shaking when you're holding one of these stretches, you've pushed yourself too far. You should be at a point where you can relax your muscles and comfortably sit in the stretch, but without shaking. So for this one, you might need to take your hands a little bit further towards you. So as opposed to just coming up from here, you might have to bring your hands back slightly and come up to there. I know I do. So let's go for, let's say 4 on either side for now, and see if we improve as we go along. So I'm going to start with my right foot to the outside of my right hand. You're then going to rock back onto the heel of this front foot, straighten that front leg, try and keep that back leg straight at the same time. Bend, replace your hands, back into your plank, left hand side. Up to the outside, rock back onto your heel, down back into that lunge, and back. Okay, so that's 1 on either side. We're going to go for 2. Back down. Left hand side, straighten that front leg. Drop back down, and stretch the hip flexor, replace your hands, back. Okay, that was 2. Last one on either side. My shoulders getting tired more than anything. Tailbone tucked under. And let's go. Right foot to the outside of your right hand. Hand rock back onto the heel, straighten your leg. Back down, replace hands, plank. Okay, last one. 3, 2, 1. I really struggle with those ones. They're really good if you're not the kind of person that can sit in a hamstring stretch otherwise. So if you don't like sitting in that forward fold or drawing your leg up, if you can't sit in a static stretch like that, these are really beneficial. Obviously, developmental stretching is, well, you have to wait for your stretch reflex to kind of give up on you, and then the muscle can properly elongate. So the longer you can hold it, the more work you're going to be doing. They're a good place to start if you don't want to sit in a hamstring stretch. Okay, right. We're now going to do a little bit more, kind of getting some more movement in your spine, because I know a lot of people are at home desks, or just being a little bit more sedentary than before. So we are going to come into a really, really wide stance. So essentially this is kind of like a Cossack squat. So your Cossack squat is where you come low and you alternate from side to side, staying low throughout the move, keeping your knees driven out towards the side, don't let them cave in. So a side view, here, your chest stays up. You're not over like this with your knees in, you keep your chest tall and you rock from side to side. We're going to do that, but we're going to add a little bit of a twist. So let's come to the left hand side first. So down into the middle, knees driven out, chest tall. You're going to come to one side, left hand goes to your left foot, and you're going to reach up with that arm. You're going to try and open your chest and let your eyes follow where your hand goes. Reach through your fingertips. Bring your hand back down, back up to the middle, we come to the other side. Right hand to right foot, Ideally, we have your wrist, shoulder, shoulder, wrist, all stacked on top of each other as you try and twist your chest through. Driving out on that knee with your elbow. Drop your arm, release the foot, other side. So drive out on your knee with your elbow, reach up. Drop nice and low in that squat. Arm down, up to the middle, other side. Keep applying that pressure to your knee with your elbow. Let's have one more on either side. Okay. Bring your stance a little bit wider for this last one. Down to the side you started on. Keep driving that knee out. Arm down. Back up to the middle for that transition. Other side. Last time. Drop your arm. Back up to the middle, and escape. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of a rotational movement in your spine there, which is going to be really helpful if we start like this a lot at desk. Okay, I'm completely incapable of doing a half-hour class. I've said it before. The last little thing that we're going to do, let's do one more for legs and one more for arms. They're nice and quick, these ones. Arms, and then I'll get you to do one for legs on your own. I trust you with this. So we're going to start. These are both seated stretches now. So I'm going to get you to. We're going to start with the one that we used to warm up. So fingers touching in front of you. Send your shoulder blades in opposite directions. Drop them down. Create a big circle with your arms. Now your shoulders should be a little bit more mobile because we've done a lot of plank movements. You should be able to create a bigger circle here. Send your shoulder blades in opposite directions and shoulders forward. We're just sitting cross-legged or legs straight if you want. You're really going to endeavour to make that circle as big as possible, keeping your fingers touching. You should feel that stretch across your upper back. From here, similar version of the stretch, but it intensifies it slightly. You're going to put your wrists and your elbows together. Do not let your elbows come apart. The second they come apart, it's not working. You're going to drive your hands up as a unit in front of you. You should start to feel this stretch across your upper back. It helps me intensify the stretch to tuck my chin in slightly. Your body's going to want you to peel your elbows apart to get your hands higher, keep them together. Driving your elbows together and up. And relax. Okay, so that's stretching out our upper back. We're now going to stretch out our chest. This is a very yogi one, and I really enjoy doing this one because it's a lot harder than it actually is. So I'm going to sit with my back to you for a moment. You're going to put your hands together behind your back and drive it up towards your neck. So it looks a lot more yogi and cool than it actually is. You're just stretching out your chest, shoulders. So hands together behind your back. You're going to drive them up. And from here, you want to try and drive your elbows out behind you. So you're not hunched like this. Shoulders back and down, and drive your elbows out behind you. Keep creeping your hands further up and elbows out. And relax. My back clicks whenever I do that one. So if you're watching, if you're not doing this live and you're doing this at a later date, you're going to cycle between this one here and the one where your hands are behind your back. So you're going to stretch out your back, stretch out your chest, back, chest. We'll ping pong through the two, like 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 8 times. So you're doing 4 forward, 4 backwards, just to really mobilise your shoulders. Try and get rid of any tension in your traps as well with this one. I'm gonna run over, but whatever. The last one I'm gonna get you to do, you're gonna change the angle here. I'm gonna get you to do on a sofa. So this is a really good progression of the stretch that we do for your hip flexor when you're in a lunge. It's also a really good stretch for your quad. I'm going to get you to put the top of your foot on the sofa. From here, you're going to touch your knee to the floor and you're going to tuck your tailbone under. Try and send your hips closer to your ribs. Close this gap here by putting your belly button through. You will immediately feel that tension pick up in your hip flexor and your quad. This other leg, hands go anywhere that isn't on your leg or on the sofa. You want to stabilize using your core. I really feel this one in my quad. When you're ready, lunge up out of it almost, so do like a split squat out of it, back to the other side. So the flat of your foot on the sofa, drive your knee down, nice and close to the sofa, tuck your, so this is easy, this is hard. She says falling over. This is easy, hard. The difference is like what, 1 inch, 2 inches, tuck your tailbone under, belly button through, try and drive your hips forward. You want to try and keep your hips straight on as well, so let's say I'm doing it this way, your hips will try and rock, you've got to keep them dead on, completely. So you want to, let's say, okay, I'm going to sign off in a sec because I've done my half an hour and turn this up, but I want you to cycle through 1, 2, 3, 4 to 8. You're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, left, right, 2 rounds of that. So really mobilizing your upper back and your chest, and then stretching out your hip flexors and your quads that are going to be tight from sitting in this position doing work or whatever. Your hip flexors are going to tighten up. That was fun. It's a bit more flowy than normal, less static holds. I personally find it more engaging and enjoyable that way. Sitting in static holds are amazingly beneficial, but they hurt. There's not a lot of distraction, whereas if you're doing a move and you're moving through the pain, it's a little bit easier to deal with. Any suggestions for specific body parts or things that you want to work on flexibility-wise, let me know, and I will include them in my Thursday mobility class. I am doing a core class tomorrow. There's loads of stuff going on, like there's classes every day. Yes, I will write this up for you, Catherine, or you can do it with me on Facebook, whatever you want. But yeah, any specific requests for mobilisation flows or mobility help, let me know, and I will see you for a core class tomorrow. So that's 8 of your mobilisation things and 2 per leg of your quad and hip flexor stretch on the sofa. That's your homework. Go do it. Okay, bye.